Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. I am your host, Jen Washington. This is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. I would like to extend my gratitude in you listening to this podcast. It means everything to me, and I hope it is clear that this subject matter is so important to me. I care about our people, our future, and making a positive change in this nation. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. Hopefully everyone had a good holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. Hopefully you had an opportunity to take some time to yourself and spend time with family. I had a nice family dinner and got to enjoy my family, so that was great. And hopefully you also have checked out the year-end review episode with Levi from the Forefront Radio. Shout out to Levi. That dropped last week. I was going to take a break this week and post a rewind, but there's some stories out here that I kind of wanted to reach out on and make sure that we are aware for timely purposes, some recent stories that I did want to bring to your attention and bring them to the forefront. All right. So we will get into these stories. Also, I want to bring to your attention that we do have our fairly newly launched website up and running, www.wokebyaccident.net. And out here, you can listen to all the episodes. There also is some information about me and other podcasts that I have appeared on. I have the links out there posted, so that's pretty cool. And also, if you would like to support this show, there is a link to our Buy Me a Coffee. And so you can buy us a coffee and support this show. And so that will go toward creating great content so that we can inform and educate and do the work. All right. So want to let you guys know about that. And also coming soon, we'll have an affiliate link for affiliate program I was just approved from. So kudos to us for scoring affiliateship. And so that will be coming and being posted soon. So let's get into the stories now. This first story is about the verdict of Kim Potter, which was just released here on December 23rd. Kim Potter was the former police officer responsible for the death of Dante Wright. And if we don't remember who Dante Wright was, on April 11th of 2021, Dante Wright, a 20-year-old black man, was fatally shot by Officer Kimberly Potter during a traffic stop and attempted arrest for a outstanding arrest warrant in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. The odd detail in this case was that Officer Potter mistook her taser for her service weapon, and so it was to be an accident, or she didn't intend to kill Dante Wright. She had mistaken her taser for the firearm, was the narrative that she relayed. And so the trial took place, and we just received the verdict on the 23rd here, and she was convicted of first and second degree manslaughter. So the first degree manslaughter charge has a maximum penalty of 15 years and or a $30,000 fine, and the second count of that second degree manslaughter has a maximum penalty of 10 years and or $20,000 fine. In October, the prosecutors informed the court that they intended to seek a more severe penalty than the state guidelines called for when Potter was sentenced, claiming that she abused her position of authority and that her conduct caused greater than normal danger to the safety of other people, which I agree, because it's also noted here out on CNN that With her not having any criminal history, Minnesota's sentencing guidelines recommend a sentence roughly between 6 to 8.5 years for an individual with no criminal history. So we'll see what she receives for sentencing, which will be just here in February. So we will stay tuned and let you guys know what's going on. This case was very deep. The testimony of his mother and the girlfriend was very compelling and emotional. How can a traffic stop turn into a loss of life? I think they stated that he was going to run and take off, but still, to shoot him in this way, is that the answer? Is that the correct manner to handle the traffic stop? It was not. So she has to be held accountable for her actions. And it was refreshing to hear that Daunte Wright's mother is called to action and she made a statement that she would be taking more of an interest in policing and reform and making a change. So that was really great to hear her say that. So we'll keep you guys informed here. The next story I want to go over is about the death of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. We lost Desmond Tutu on December 26th, and I wanted to acknowledge the great contributions he made for human rights. So Desmond Tutu was a South African Anglican bishop and theologian known for his work as an anti-apartheid and human rights activist. He was the first Black African to hold the position of a bishop of Johannesburg from 1985 to 1986, and the first African American or Black African to hold the position of Archbishop of Cape Town from 1986 to 1996. He was one of the prominent opponents of South Africa's apartheid system of racial segregation and white minority rule, and this was huge. If we don't recall, and if you don't know, you may want to Google about apartheid. It was a horrible system of institutionalized racial segregation that existed in South Africa and Southwest Africa from 1948 until the early 1990s. And so he was a huge opponent of apartheid, and so his contributions are so great, and we just have to acknowledge everything that he's done. And I can't begin to go on to share of all the things that he accomplished, including receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, the author of several books, and just a great man. And we want to acknowledge and salute the work that he did for human rights. Rest in power, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. The next story I want to talk about is about this judge from Louisiana, Judge Michelle Odinet, who was suspended, and they are calling for her to step down due to her being caught on video using racial slurs. And so the Judiciary Commission ordered Odinet to be disqualified without pay starting on December 16th, and she is disqualified from exercising judicial functions without salary during the pendency of further proceedings in this matter. And so what happened is that she made headlines in December after a video went viral online where she was heard allegedly using racist language. In the footage, an unidentified male, reportedly a member of Odinet's family, was heard laughing about mom shouting the N-word at an alleged burglar suspect seen on home security footage. "We have a N-word. It's a N-word, like a roach," a female voice said. Louisiana Democratic Party Chair Katie Bernhardt later released a statement calling for her resignation. We will not tolerate bigotry from the bench. Fairness and impartiality cannot coexist with racism. And so, yeah, so this matter is still going on. We will see what happens, but it's interesting because initially, when asked about the video, she explained, "My children and I were a victim of a armed burglary at our home. The police were called and the assailant was arrested. The incident shook me to my core and my mental state was fragile." This is according to CNN. She states that, "I was given a sedative at the time of the video. I have zero recollection of the video and the disturbing language used in it." So she's saying that she had a sedative and she doesn't remember saying it when, it appears to be her speaking voice from listening to her speak. You hear her speaking voice and it does sound like her. So, she doesn't have any recollection of the video. Okay, so a lawyer for Michelle Odinet told Acadiana Advocate that she feels humiliated and embarrassed and sorry for what she has done and the harm she has caused to the community. So it sounds like she's admitted it, and it's just disturbing to know that these are the thoughts of our lawmakers. So what do you guys think about that? You want to drop a line out on the social media to discuss this matter concerning Judge Michelle Odinet. Sounds like it's not completely resolved, so we will keep you informed as far as what develops with this particular story. This last story that I want to discuss with you is about a gentleman out of Colorado. It has gotten a lot of attention and it was under the radar of even Kim Kardashian. So I definitely want to talk about this in respect to Colorado and their mandatory minimums. Okay, and so this case concerns Rogel Aguilera-Mederos, who was involved in a truck crash that killed 4 people back in 2019. He has asked for a reduction in his sentence from 110 years to be taken down to 20 and 30 years. So representatives for Aguilera-Mederos, they have made the request and the judge has rescheduled the hearing for, January the 13th to reconsider the 110 sentence where he was convicted in an interstate wreck that killed 4 people. Now, I want to give you some details about the incident. So what happened, Mederos was 23 when he crashed the 18-wheeler truck that he was driving as a part of his work for a Texan trucking company into a number of cars in Lakewood, Colorado. His case stated that the brakes of the truck failed as he was coming downhill on Interstate 70. The truck caused a 28-vehicle crash during which a fuel tank caught fire and caused a devastating fiery explosion. When it was over, 4 individuals had unfortunately were dead. In October, Aguilera-Mederos was found guilty of 27 charges in total, ranging from vehicular homicide to first-degree assault, as well as reckless driving and careless driving causing death. He was sentenced to 110 years on December 13th, and he gave an emotional speech where he claimed that he would prefer to swap places with the victims. Now, this information comes from CNN, and the judge sentencing him stated that he didn't want to make Mederos serve the sentences consecutively. However, he was bound to the Colorado state law and gave the minimum sentence for the 27 counts. And so the large attention that the case has gotten due to the large sentence is significant. Kim Kardashian has posted several Instagram stories about the case and posted he was not drunk or under the influence. His brakes on the tractor trailer failed. Another shocking and unfair part of the case is that the judge didn't want to sentence him to such a lengthy sentence. However, because the mandatory minimums in Colorado, his hands were tied. Mandatory minimums take away judicial discretion and need to end. So that's very deep and powerful post from Kim Kardashian. As we know, she has done a lot of efforts and work in regards to prison reform and assisting with individuals trying to get out and lesser sentences. And one African American woman, she was able to get out on a particular drug charge. So we, acknowledge and appreciate the work she's done for people who are disenfranchised and need support with these particular legal matters. Definitely very significant. But yeah, this case, it just seems shocking to get that kind of time, especially when he wasn't under the influence, as it was noted here, and he was working for a company. It seemed like they would have supported or taken some sort of the responsibility, but it appears that's not the case. That he solely is being held accountable for the crash that caused the death of these 4 individuals, which is very misfortunate. So we'll keep you updated on this, as we'll have an update here in January. But makes you take another look at some of these laws. Mandatory minimums are quite significant. So I wanted to share that, as this was a timely story. And I thank you for listening.
At this time, we are going to go ahead and conclude this episode. We do appreciate you listening. We do invite you to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. On Twitter, it is Woke by. The Gmail is wokebyaccident@gmail.com. And we are available on all of your favorite streaming platforms. Please go out and follow us, share, leave a review, tell a friend. And every time you listen, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you again, and take care.